You're no hero, so don't act like it. And please don't treat me like I'm your sidekick. Cause I watch TV, I see.
Hey, what is up everybody? It is KATAIR Gaming here today, bringing you a very special build video. And I've been enjoying this build for the past couple of weeks now. I know I've been using it in live streams. Y'all been going, hey, what build is that you're running? How do you have it set up? Can you put it up on your channel? So here we go, you guys. This is a wonderful counter to Predator's Mark, and it's not just because it is classified strikers. It's just the very specific way I have it set up, which I'll run over everything with y'all very, very shortly. And, well, let's go ahead and jump into this shit, you guys. Here we go. So, I do not have the houses that I'd like to have. I'd like to have Responsive Unforgiving, even though Responsive wouldn't really be procced on this build, so maybe Destructive Unforgiving was for the best. You know, I could have Deadly on there in place of Predatory and Destructive, but I don't. So, I mean, I'm working with what I have, you guys. This is a 9k stamina striker build. I'll go ahead and go through everything with y'all. I know the vendors, I think, reset today. I just woke up, you guys. It's like 10 at night. Don't go judging me. Shit. Okay. So my first house has Destructive Unforgiving. It has higher base damage, 16.8, over my 15.7, which is like the lowest base damage I think you can get on a house for 4k firearms. So it's not bad. I normally do end up hitting around 20 to up to 30k with those builds. But that's with stacks, of course. Base damage is probably only like 13 to 16, depending on where I hit an agent, like whether it be a headshot, body shot, foot shot. So pick your shots, don't worry, you will be stacking up damage, you'll hit hard as fuck, and you'll just shred people because of how this build is set up. So my favorite house to use on this build is the destructive one, and then whenever I go to smack someone, of course, I'll switch to predatory. If I don't have time to reload in a battle, I'll just go ahead and switch to one without reloading the other. But for this house, since I do have destructive on it, I'll go ahead and tell y'all that I do have 44% enemy armor damage on this build, so I am hitting really fucking hard with this shit. And yes, I did just say enemy armor damage for PvP. It is relevant whether you'd like to believe it is or not. And my groups and I have been experimenting with this for quite a few updates now. We know it works. So, okay, let's go ahead and jump into the knee pads. This is how you counter Predator's Mark as well. Exotic damage resilience actually does counter the Predator's Mark bleed. So you could have a person with 105k house bleed damage, and it'll go down to about 42 to 43% bleed damage with the way this build is set up. In fact, you're healing more than the Predator's Mark is bleeding you out for, so it's amazing. Of course, unless some dude decide to come up to you and he's just sitting there with an urban MDR in the background, just poking bullets at you like a little butt. Because that's annoying. But here we go. So I do have 8% exotic damage resilience. I do have burn resistance because flame turrets are back. I should have shock resistance, but I didn't really have a choice on these knee pads. Then I have 1398 stamina. My armor's not the best, but I do have first aid self-heal mods on, which really don't make a difference because my heal kind of tickles anyways. And then I have a kind of low stamina mod with 2.50% exotic damage resilience. I would recommend getting one higher than 252, or else you're really going to have to optimize your build further than you're supposed to. As you can see, I'm only at 9,002 stamina. I know that's bad, but I could probably get it up to 9,262 with 4,098 firearms, or 4,268 firearms, somewhere around there, if I had everything optimized. Let's see, or maybe my firearms is max there, I don't know. I don't know what the max firearms would be for this build. Let's see, I have 1401 stamina with 10.50% exotic damage resilience, 17 burn resistance, and there's my extra 2.50% exotic damage resilience on my stamina mod. Let's go ahead and go to the chest piece. I have exotic damage resilience and enemy armor damage. Yes, I do not have health on my chest piece. Feel free to replace that enemy armor damage with health, but this is just the way I like to set my build up. It melts everybody a lot faster. And I don't know, I just kind of trust my builds more with enemy armor damage on them. Yes, for PvP, not just for PvE. However, you do go ahead and shred people in, or well, NPCs in PvE, so whichever you'd like to choose this build for. Maybe you're a farmer up in DZ7, DZ9, and you're working on a boss, and then this group of rogues comes up behind you and tries to kill you. This would be the build to kill them and those NPCs. Like, you'd give them a good run for their money. You really would. And NPCs nade spam a lot, so with all that exotic damage resilience, that still really would help you. I do have 2 more stamina mods on here, both with 2.50% exotic damage resilience. I've heard that it can go up to about 3% exotic damage resilience on mods, but I've not seen them. So that's just what I've heard around. Maybe I'll have one, maybe I'll seen one, maybe you, I don't know. Y'all tell me if y'all can find one with like 3% or more on it. Let's see, okay, so I do have 252 stamina on that mod right there with 1401 regular stamina on the gear piece. I have the freaking first aid self-heal, which you can see right there. Okay, and I do have critical hit damage on it if maybe the health on the chest piece wasn't doing well enough for you. Or like, you know, the fact that it's not there whatsoever. Maybe you could have some health on your backpack and your holster. But I prefer to get a lot of damage out of this build, and I know I'm missing crit damage on my knee pads, but I'd rather survive that pred mark bleed because it's really fucking annoying. And you can just kind of tank it a little bit more with this build, so onto the gloves. I do not have perfect gloves here, let's see. But anyhow, so I wasn't quite done with this build in general. I would most definitely go ahead and switch that enemy armor damage on my gloves to crit chance. I was just testing something out the other day where I had like, I don't know, 62% enemy armor damage on this build, and I was just ripping through NPCs and players alike, and it was just going really well, but I'd prefer 4% crit chance over 8% enemy armor damage, at least on my gloves. Only on my gloves. And you'll still have 36% enemy armor damage on your build total without that 8% on your gloves, so just go ahead, ignore the enemy armor damage on your gloves, go with 4% crit chance or 6% crit chance. I think it's 6% max on gloves, so go with the 6% crit chance, and then we have the 12% SMG damage, because obviously I'm running 2 houses, which means you need good ammo capacity on your backpack and on your chest piece, and you just really don't want to run out of ammo. Trust me, you really don't. Okay, and then that critical hit damage is very important. Let's go over here to the Striker's holster. We do a 4% critical hit chance with 1395 firearms, 1401 stamina, 1362 electronics, and we have 1001 armor because I started optimizing this thing. And you can tell I didn't reach full optimization on it, but we're pretty decent there, you guys. Okay, going into the character tab, you can see I have 39% critical hit chance. If you add that extra 6% to it, you'll be doing fabulously. And I have 89% critical hit damage, not as much as I'd like. I prefer to have around 120, but this is my Predator's Mark counter build, so I need that exotic damage resilience and that enemy armor damage, and it just works out really well for the person using this build. 2.40 second reload time, and then we have the SMG damage with 12%. 44% enemy armor damage. Again, that would go down about 8 points around the 36%, so it would be good. You have 0% skill haste on this build, however you do have really good survivability because of the fact you do have 2 heals along on top of the Striker 6-piece bonus. Okay, so we have 380k health, so you do survive for quite a while, and then we have 31.36% armor mitigation, in case any of y'all were wondering. Okay, health regeneration, 19k. Interesting. That's not bad. Okay, and then we have our 42% exotic damage resilience. That came down by like 1 point because I did reroll this build the other day and I was trying out 62% enemy armor damage on it. Yeah, don't do that. It may work, but just don't do that. It's not worth it. You need the survivability. Fuck that. No, I'm not joking. Okay, so we have 50% burn resistance to this flame turrets. They're going to be a little bit, you know, not working so well because we do have that 42% EDR and then we have the 50% burn resistance. So, you know. So it would be a smart idea to get some disrupt resistance on this build because, well, this is strikers and people like to disrupt you. It's kind of like being a medic but with being a DPSer at the same time. Okay, heading into abilities tab, we do have a booster shot for that little bit of extra damage. I'll go ahead and show y'all real quick. Let's say we have 16.8% on the house with Destructive Unforgiving. We go ahead and hit our booster, go back into it, and we have 19. So 19 and 17.8, but most of all importantly, 19% on that Destructive Unforgiving. And we're going to be getting more damage as someone gets their health down. So missing health segments increase your damage 1%, or 1 missing segment 10%, 2 missing segments 25%. And that works amazingly. It is a godly talent, this update. Okay, moving into the fact that I do have a support station. The support station is going to be healing you for more than your booster shot will allow you to heal, because look at that, 47k. Out of your 380k, so it's going to tickle you, maybe give you like half a segment back, but this will actually give you a full segment back. So I prefer the med station over the pulse. I have ran this build with just a med station and a pulse. Like, I've completely skipped out on booster, but I like that little bit of extra damage since I am so tanky, because, well, yeah, it makes your toughness go up quite a bit. Like, I'm at 598 right there. Okay, let's go ahead and go into talents. This is my team-oriented build. So I have critical save, I have on the move, strike back, and combat medic. And I have combat medic on because, well, Predator's Mark will affect your teammates, it will fucking hurt them, and, well, I like to heal them. So, little side note, if you're wearing exotic damage resilience and you're negating the Predmark bleed, the bleed from you that'll transfer over to your teammate will be the same bleed that you have. So let's say you have, I don't know, 43% exotic damage resilience and a Predmark bleeds you out. You're bleeding for 43k. That 43k will transfer over to your teammate through the freaking bleed ability, which would be shrapnel right there. But if your teammate gets shot and they're bleeding for 105k because they have no exotic damage resilience, that 105k will transfer over to you and it will not be mitigated whatsoever because of your exotic damage resilience. So EDR is very important to be ran by the entire squad, or else you're getting your teammates killed. So think about that. Seriously, think about that. It's really important to really think about that, because if you don't have that EDR, you're getting your teammates killed. If you do have that EDR, you're protecting your teammates more than you know. Even if your shrapnel or their shrapnel is bleeding out your teammate, you're still helping them. You really are, trust me. Okay, whenever you do get up to 100 stacks with 9k stamina striker and then you have predatory on, it's kind of like a miniature defib. It's amazing. I love that part of this build. I really fucking do. And yeah, I think that's all there is to it. I never use my pistol. Just kind of ignore that. In each video, that thing's just kind of sitting there staring at you like, hey, what you doing, dude? So that's a thing. But yeah, just remember to get that critical hit chance on your gloves. It'll get you up to about 45-ish, 45% critical hit chance, maybe 44, 43, somewhere around there. So it'll help you out. Oh shit, I'll go over my fucking attachments on my house. Okay, I do have C79 scope with critical hit damage, headshot damage, critical hit chance. I hit a lot more headshots than most players, because as a medic, which I normally am, you learn that if you're not hitting headshots, you're not doing damage. So, practice makes perfect, you guys. Just practice. Okay, and then we have extended magazine with critical hit chance, rate of fire. Maybe I could take off that rate of fire and put a little bit more critical hit damage on there so I actually am hitting harder, but I like that rate of fire just to get my stacks up for striker. It keeps me alive just that little bit longer, you know? Okay, we have our small grip with accuracy and stability, which you really don't need on a striker build, so maybe you could go reload speed and optimal range, but this is just my personal preference. I do have 16% critical hit damage. Maybe that one would be a better choice, because I think that's 19%. I'm all the way across the room, you guys. I can't see those fucking percentages. Okay, and then we have a Tyrant Suppressor, because I love my critical hit chance, which I could add some more crit damage onto this build, but this is a solo crit machine. If you really wanted to go solo manhunt with this, you can. I have gone solo manhunt with this once. Just once. And it was a server full of Predator's marks. It was fucking amazing. And my internet went out. So yeah. Thank you, Power Company. I love you and hate you at the same time. But for now, I'm sticking with that Tyrant Suppressor just for that little bit extra critical hit chance. And I think that is it, everyone.
Who is this? This song is dope. Who is this?
Well everyone, if y'all did enjoy this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate all of y'all's support to help me with this channel, and well, as usual you guys, I will catch y'all next time. See y'all later.